What's up, everyone? It is Lamar Woods back again, and I am talking to you today about the life of an entrepreneur after you leave the 9-to-5. All right, let's roll. I'm going to present this video in terms of the good, the bad, and the ugly, or the amazing looking in my case. The good of the situation. When you leave your job, the most immediate impact on your life is going to be you're going to realize that you have freedom. Freedom like you have never seen it before. You've never been so free. When you were 5 years old, running around in your mama's house, and you could eat what you want, you could buy what you want as long as you convince them, you never felt, even in those days, as free as you do now. Your money might be strapped, but as an adult, you don't really, you understand that life is that way, and you are just so excited to have your time freedom. So the immediate impact, the most noticeable impact immediately is freedom. You feel like you have your time and you can do whatever you want. The world is your oyster, and it is. The second good part about being an entrepreneur, as soon as you get out of the 9-to-5, the second thing that you will notice about the life of an entrepreneur as it comes to good things is that everything is something to be proud of. When you had a 9-to-5 and you start working on a new project at the 9-to-5, yeah, you were a little excited, but you wouldn't tell anybody about it. I mean, you wouldn't go to, when I was developing software, I would not go home and say, hey mom, I'm working on this new project that, you know, it's a big customer and we're gonna do X, Y, and Z and blah, 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 blah. I would never do that. Sometimes if it was a really big company that everybody knew, I'd be like, yeah, I'm doing that on that project. And that I've had one or two of those situations, but it was few and far in between. It was literally like 2 or 3 times out of my entire career that I come home and I'm excited about a new project that's going on. It's not as fulfilling. And so when you get into entrepreneurship, when you start living your life as an entrepreneur, what you'll come across is you'll be like, okay, I just made a toothbrush app. I just help people brush their teeth. This is amazing. It doesn't matter what the situation is. You are proud of yourself. You are proud of yourself for locking down that client. You're proud of yourself for executing on that client. You're excited and you are happy for every incremental step towards your ideal lifestyle, which is being that successful entrepreneur with all the money and all the glory and all the power. Every single step on your way is something to be proud of. Some of your family will be proud of you. Most of them will be scared. Some of your clients will be proud of you. Most of them will be like, okay, you need to get this deal done. But you are going to be proud of 90% of the things you do because it's things that you weren't doing before. Everything that you're doing felt impossible some time ago. That's my experience, and that's the second good thing about being an entrepreneur. And the third, the thrizzle, is that opportunity is something that you can feel. Opportunity is resonating all around you. So when you start living your life as an entrepreneur, you go from the situation where you're gonna maybe get a raise next year, and that raise might be 3%, maybe 6%, maybe 10%. If it's a really nice company and maybe you weren't even being paid that well in the beginning. But as an entrepreneur, you create your pay raises, right? You create the situations that bring more cash flow into your life. Outside of just cash flow, you create the opportunities for yourself to grow, for your business to grow, for your skills to grow, for growth in general. Opportunity is abundant, and you can feel it as an entrepreneur. It's almost like every single move you make, you either picked up on or missed opportunity. That's the way life really is. You just can't feel it as an employee. You just don't feel it before you leave the 9 to 5. You know, you might start to feel it if you got into some venture that was really doing well. That's just not the majority of cases out there. The opportunity feels amazing. It's one of the greatest parts of being an entrepreneur. There is no cap. There is no ceiling. No cap. No cap. It's a thing. It's a thing. If you want to check that out, look into the other stuff I do on YouTube. You will find me explaining the no cap phenomena. Let's move on to the bad situations that arise from moving into the entrepreneurship. What's going on with that hand there? Let's get into the bad stuff now. But before I get into the bad stuff, let me go ahead and drop some of this knowledge on you, all right? It's a fact that you don't understand. It's a fact that you aren't doing things the best possible, but you want to know that parts of your business are done correctly, right? And one of those areas that you should not be worrying about is your technology. And with that, let me tell you about Woodson Tech. Woodson Tech is my company, my software consulting company, where we help businesses grow their brands and make more from their customers while also adding value to their customers through technology. By building mobile apps and websites, we help businesses get exposed to the marketplace and extract value from that marketplace. If you would like to grow your business today, head on over to Woodson Tech. That's www.woodsontech.com and schedule a call with me. We'll talk about what we can do for your business to grow it and provide value. All right, guys, let's move into the content. The first bad thing that you're going to come across as an entrepreneur is money issues. Of course. As a 9-to-5er, you had the trickle of monties coming down from whatever organization had hired you. What you don't really realize is you were hired by an organization who had already figured out the money situation. They had already figured out the successful part of being in business. They're there. They're successful enough to hire you. So when you move into becoming an entrepreneur, when you entrepreneurate yourself, you are going to immediately realize that money is difficult. Getting money is something that is entirely difficult to a person in that same 9-to-5 mindset. It's really not impossible to get, and it's really not hard to get. You need to just understand that you, as a non-entrepreneur, we're not trained on how to get the bag, as they say, get the monies, as some others say, and stack it up as the others would, okay? You were not trained on how to find clients, talk to clients, close clients, produce all of the quality that the clients need. You were really trained on one sliver, one piece of that entire system. And you have to immediately start to try and figure out all the other parts of the system when you move into entrepreneurship, which is why it's actually best to team up with people, because other people will be able to understand parts of the system that you are not accustomed to. Other people have had different experiences that illuminate parts of the system that you have no understanding in. It's a great idea, especially for your first business, to start out by rolling with the pack, roll with the group. You guys can learn it together and you guys can get it figured out, right? With half the effort, a quarter of the effort, depending on how many partners you have, right? The second bad part about being an entrepreneur is the fear. The fear. right? You will be in some amount of fear that you are making the wrong decision or that you are in danger. When you are inside of a cave, and you're protected from all of the elements, it's one thing. But when you jump out there, you're outside of the cave and there's things that could eat you. There's different pieces of danger. You gotta find your own food. You left all the good food back at the cave. You are in a scary situation. And it takes a while for you to get over that fear. And if you are going to be successful, you have to become comfortable with that fear. That fear has to always be inside of you, because if you find a way to become a bit successful and you lose some of that fear, which is normal, you're going to have to ratchet it up by doing things that keep you uncomfortable, or else your growth will stagnate. And most businesses in America are not large businesses. Most businesses in America don't have any employees, right? You don't want to be like most businesses in America. You need to grow. And in order to grow, you got to do some things that are uncomfortable. You got to go hire people when you've never done it before. You got to go get more clients than you feel like you can handle so that you can bring in help. You've got to do everything. Everything that you don't know how to do, you've got to do it. And everything that you haven't tried, you've got to think about trying it. That stuff is scary. For me, I'm in fear because I've got to go figure out, how do I make this video? How do I make it good? How do I make it better than the last one? How do I get clients? How do I get more than just one or two? How do I raise my prices so that I can actually live off of the projects instead of just make a peanut or two, right? It's scary. Figuring out how I'm going to keep the lights on in this deal. How am I going to keep the electricity running through the camera, okay, and the light, right? How do I keep it all going? I don't really know. That's exactly where you're going to be when you leave the 9 to 5. You haven't been trained on it. It's a scary situation. There's a lot of fear. You have to become at home with it. And as soon as that fear starts to die down, you have to ratchet it up, or else you'll stagnate. And every human wants comfortable, right? We all want comfortability. We all want to be comfortable in our environment. But entrepreneurship is a bit more like being in the wild. It's a lot less like being in a happy family, cheery environment, and more like, dude, did I hunt it today? Did I kill it today? And did something try to kill me while I was hunting, right? It's a lot scarier. So the fear is something that you will come across. Be ready for it. Get comfortable. This is your life now, dog. Let's roll. Moving on into the next thing, one of the worst parts of being an entrepreneur is the guilt of downtime. When you were in the 9 to 5 and you went to go for a weekend to, go to a festival or to go hang out with friends, it doesn't matter what it was. When you spent a weekend watching anime on Netflix, right? You were able to do that. You felt like I have worked for this. I deserve this downtime. As an entrepreneur, especially in the beginning, we're talking about after you leave the 9 to 5, right? After you leave that 9 to 5, you've got a massive change in income, a massive shift in income. This massive shift comes with the fear that you can't handle it, the fear that you are going to run out of money, the fear that you have made a mistake. And what comes next is the guilt of engaging in downtime. There was a quote, and I believe it was from Les Brown. This quote was, they call it downtime because when you engage in this time, these activities keep you from going up. And as a business owner, You always want to be growing your business. You always want to be on the hunt for new customers. You always want to be, servicing your customers in a better way, making them more delighted. But everybody has to sit down at some point. Everybody's got to get some rest, right? I've swung the pendulum super far and said, you know what? I need to make sure that I'm always working 100% of the time. And I've swung it back and said, oh, I gotta have a life here at the same time. I've made both mistakes, and it's at neither. It's on neither side. You need to be, I wouldn't say somewhere in the middle. You need to be a little bit closer towards the hard working side if you want to make this thing work. If entrepreneurship is easy, everybody would be doing it. You try and be in the middle, you're probably gonna bust out. You're probably going to fail at what you're doing and then talk about how impossible entrepreneurship is. No, you gotta be killing it. You gotta be crushing it, okay? And you gotta be doing that for a consistent time period before it all really just works out. And so the guilt of downtime is something that you're gonna feel. You're gonna feel like, oh man, I went and had that dinner, but I really should have been making calls. I went and watched that movie, but I really should have been working on that project. I went and made dinner. Did the dishes and everything, and it took me a few hours. I should have spent that time working on my business, and I should have left the kitchen dirty. Sometimes you feel like these things, it sounds silly, but sometimes it feels like that. It really does. There's a guilt to downtime. Something that I never had when I was working in a 9-to-5, because I felt like I deserved it, felt like I earned it. And when you're an entrepreneur, you deserve what you get. You get what you deserve, and you deserve what you earn. If you didn't kill anything today, if you didn't hunt anything today, if you didn't service a customer today, you don't feel like you earned much. And even if you serviced one, should you have serviced 5? Should you have serviced 10? Who knows? You're gonna feel like you needed to service all of them. So the guilt of downtime is a real deal. It's a real deal. So with all of this that I've put in here, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video for today. I'm going to come on back and drop another video around the story of how I got those 3 goods and those 3 bads, because there's been a lot of topsy-turvy stuff that happened in the business. If you would like to see that, come on back for another video. Drop a comment on this video letting me know I should make it, or else I'll have to find a better topic, and I will catch you on the next round. Bye. Yo, 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 yippee yo, yippee yay. It's your boy Lamar Woods. It's the dragon, back again, spitting flame, getting money, trying to get money, spinning around, getting to it, you know it. But all right, guys, I'm gonna give it to you in this fashion. Hello? I'm doing all right, Mom. How you doing? Come on now.
I'm okay. Could you check on that order that you sent me a mail that I never received?
You never received it?
No.
Oh, crap. Whoa. I am back. Mom, don't be calling me in the middle of videos. You know I be busy. Come on now.